What's up, everyone? Michael DeMond back with you with the latest episode of Starbeam.one, Stand Up and Shine and Shill. A little series I put together to keep you up to date with my project, Starbeam.one. It's based after agile methodologies, letting your teammates know what you're doing, what you're going to be doing, and any sort of friction points you may be encountering. And in my case, I've added so much more. Let's begin. All right, program notes. I kind of start out talking about what's going on, any sort of highlights. And also, one thing I just realized that I didn't put up there is that this is a 5-week month. And so we do this semi-weekly. And this is a 5-week month. So in this case, I just do the first week and then the third week, which is this week, this one, and then I take the rest of the month off to work. And so that's the top program note that is not there, but kind of a huge highlight here that happened last week is we reached 100 flares, $100 of volume in 7 days, which was really unbelievable. It still kind of resonates with me right now as I sit here and tell you about this, and then even more so because right now, what happened after that, I believe that happened on Friday, and since then it's just been kind of, or maybe that might have been Saturday, but since then it's been nothing. So it's been just a huge high and now kind of like a real dull low, and we're trying to fight through that. But still, even so, 100 flares of volume is still amazing to me in 7 days. Just to imagine a year ago, I wouldn't have even thought of that would be possible, sort of thing. And so even if it's just $100, still $100, right? It's still $100 more than I've ever done in any application that I've designed or written or anything like that, and it's great, right? It still is awesome, even though we're not really making any sales right now. This is the I've been studying a few NFT profiles, and this is the name of the game. You have really good sales for a while, and then maybe not for a while, and so you just have to learn to adjust to it, especially when you're starting out, right? So all these new NFT artists that I've been studying, they all have the same problem. So you have a lot of time where you don't make sales, and then you have a time where you do make sales, sort of thing. So we just have to learn to adjust to that. And hopefully we get to the point where it's just sales all the time. Okay, so moving on here, Alpha 1, I'm moving towards Alpha 2, and really we got the feature market complete, and the last thing we're going to do here is get this treasure market in place, and then then Alpha 2 will be ready. All right, so now we're going to move to the dashboard. The dashboard is where all the statistics are, and you can get to it by visiting the website here. And I'm going to maximize the screen and go to the top of the corner here, top right, and select dashboard. And then we'll take you here to this screen. And as you can see, like what I was just saying, is that we have really little traffic right now. It's kind of unbelievable because everything was really roaring here. The Friday and Saturday, we were making a lot of sales, and I think it was 100, 150 connections per day. And right now it's just nothing. But you can see that kind of reflected here. We're getting 3,000 per month right now, and we had almost 100 back on Friday and Saturdays, or excuse me, 1,000 on Friday and Saturday, and 1,000 per week is 4,000 per month, and so that's kind of what we're shooting for here. And user accounts we actually got some user accounts today, so that's kind of we're starting to climb on that, so that's kind of a good metric there. We're getting close to 100 user accounts, so now we can scroll down here to our licenses being generated. We're still producing a lot of licenses. We just passed 1,000, and we're moving on to our 15th, our 1500th license here. And so we've got a lot of production right now. We've got a lot of licenses that aren't being sold currently, and I hopefully the next day we'll get those sold. And we'll see here. We've got 4 sales today. Actually, I think we've had 2 here that I'm unaware of since I've started filming here. We had 2, and now we have 4, so that is good news. In past week, I got 100 here, and 1,000 all-time sales. So we did pass 1,000 sales, which is great. And so kind of get back to here. We got $1 of volume today, but in the past week, you can see, it's still kind of drawing down right now. But you can see that we had at one point 100, and now it's at 70, nearly 75 flares or $75 of volume. And all time, we're getting close to 400. So it can't be down too much, but it's just one of those things where it's sort of like football. I wear my Detroit Lions shirts here on the program, and it's sort of like football. You got the highs and the lows of it. You just gotta go with the flow, sort of thing. You got to go with the momentum, and then not when it's not there. You got to be comfortable being uncomfortable, sort of thing. And just kind of going through here, kind of showing the network value. Kind of, I always just kind of scroll through here, and we kind of get to the good part here where the transaction balance is 0, and it is. All right, so what did I do? Quality, right? So I was going to be working on the treasure market, but I landed on quality and just all sorts of bug fixes and getting things a little bit more performant. One of the key things is that now the authors, the artists, can create products without much effort. So if you're from NFT, one of the feedbacks that we were getting is that there's just too much work involved and there's this cover thing. We're not really familiar with that. Well, if you don't get it, that's fine now, because now when you create a product, you are able to just basically set your featured image and go. And that's all you need to do. And we watermark it for you and everything is set. And that's all the effort you need to make. But if you are, an advanced user or someone who's been on Starbeam.one for a while now, you can still do your covers, and covers still work just as they did before. So everything's great there. And so now we've made it easier for people who are onboarding with NFTs to be a little bit more familiar, a little bit quicker, a little bit faster. And then we've got our existing users who are familiar with a certain process, and that's in place. And we also made some improvements with performance. So we had a problem with our images. I was running a really intensive SQL query for every image that was being displayed on the storefront, and that was really causing some problems with our SQL server. Now it operates how it should have been in the first place, and it just creates an image when the issuance is created. So when you deploy or issue your licenses to the marketplace, that's where I go ahead and create those images and make them in one place in Azure storage. And so all that happens now when we fetch an image for your storefront image is we just make a query to Azure storage and grab that image. So that's a lot faster now, and it's a lot snappier. And so the product catalog is really fast now too. So that's a huge improvement. Okay, so what am I doing now? I'm going to get some quality features in place. Got a few more tasks left there. Primarily, we have this announcement bot, and this announcement bot fires off an announcement whenever there's an issuance, a new issuance, more licenses produced, or if there's a sale or a resale created or sold on the marketplace. And so right now, that's taking a while during our issuances, and I want to get that out there and into its own process. And so basically that'll save some time when we're creating our products and won't be so intensive on the server. And so I want to do that. And then from there, we have our treasure market. I'm really kind of excited about this just to see how it does, because I feel once this treasure market's in place, I think everything will be in place to where I can truly start marketing this and actually start paying for advertising. So I'm hoping to have this done by the end of the month here in the next 3 weeks. I'm hoping to get this done here, and then we can call it Alpha 2. Friction point. Okay, so now we've got, I sent out another distress letter to Microsoft with our Razor performance. I'm going to put that in the description, and got a reply there. They're very responsive, and this is the great thing about Microsoft now. It's before, back in the days of Silverlight, I hate to bring up a old sore topic, but there was nothing like what we have now, which is, hey, I'm going to go on GitHub and I'm going to start a conversation directly with the developers that are responsible for this and have a discussion, let them know what's going on. Well, here I am, right? So I've got a GitHub, and I've got my application that has now made $100 in 7 weeks, and I'm also enrolled in Microsoft for Startups, and I also have nearly 150,000 lines of code in this project. And so I'm going to post this thread on GitHub and start a conversation. And sure enough, we've got David Wagner. I'm not sure how to pronounce the last name there, but he responded right away, and there's already discussion, and there's already letting me know that, hey, we are working on it, we are cognizant of it, and so that's great. So that's it's still a friction point, and I'm going to keep that here until it's resolved, sort of thing, because I've been dealing with it for a long time. But it's good to see there is some traction there. And the same thing here with the others with Resharper Performance. The same, I'm getting some really good correspondence with JetBrains over there, and so I'm feeling better about it. But still, a sort of friction point. I just want to keep that there. And then finally, there's this problem with Azure. I'm going to jump back over to Microsoft here, and this has been going on since September, and we finally had our first. I've been very cognizant of it, and it's basically whenever I do a deployment, we've got, for whatever reason, we've got denial of service rules being triggered by Azure's own infrastructure. And so when this happens, after the deployment, this lasts for about 5 minutes. No one can access anything that requires a database call, and it's really disruptive. And so what I've been doing is I've been only deploying when it's really, really quiet. Today would be a good candidate for this, but really, really quiet out there and there's not a lot of traffic. And that's how I've been getting around it. But I think it was on Thursday we had our first instance where I made a deployment and someone said, hey, I can't deploy I can't upload my images. What's going on? And so it's starting to impact the business, and we're getting this escalated. Okay, moving right along here, we've got our effectiveness levels and morale. On Friday or Saturday, I was easily a 9, and now yesterday we had no sales. It feels like we ran into a brick wall. And today we had no sales, and so now I'm kind of dropping this down to a 7.5. Not feeling so enthusiastic, but I'm still relatively okay, right? Like it's still better than most, and I'm still making really good progress on code. And in fact, the code actually isn't all that bad unless I open a Razor file, which is the interface, and there's a lot of that. But if I don't do that, which is where I'm at now, a lot of the code I've been doing is like with images and going into Azure storage, not too much of a problem. So but overall, I'm feeling okay. And I think I just said what that means for technology. Feeling a little okay with that. There's still friction points, but yeah, it's better than most. Marketing still is a challenge, and we're making better progress here. And I'm having some help here from Michelle with Luna Mage AI, and she's helping out with the marketing ideas, and we're getting, and it's working, right? We're getting followers, and it's just really simple stuff, right? Like, hey, if someone likes your post, why don't you follow them? Or, like some of their posts on there. And hey, guess what? We got 4 followers yesterday on starbeam.one's account. So thank you to everyone who did follow back. But still, it's still a challenge, right? It's not happening naturally for me, right? It's not, a lot of these things are not happening without a lot of effort. There's a lot of effort that's being put into it, and so it's still really challenging for me, and I'm just not feeling the best about it. Support continues to be a highlight, and I'm, there's not a lot of support tickets, but whenever there is a support ticket, I'm really involved, and I feel really good about that. All right, I did not press pause this entire episode, and I just went straight through and did that. So that's kind of interesting. That is a first. And so maybe I'll try to do that from now on. I'm feeling a lot more comfortable with these now than I did a year ago. We're coming up on a year now of having these episodes. And so, it's just getting a little bit more comfortable with the process and being in front of camera and what's bad and what's not, and what needs a redo and whatnot. Hopefully I said everyone's name right. And I'll go through, and hopefully that is the case. I'll probably have to redo everything because I said someone's name wrong. Okay, so with that, I just want to thank everyone out there. Even though we're not having any sales today, just want to thank you for your support and your time and your likes and your purchases when they do occur. And I mean, 100 flares in 7 days, that's just such a monumental achievement for me, and I'm still happy about it. Even I would almost consider it too good to be true if 2 days of no sales didn't happen after that, right? It's sort of like when you have something happen that's really great, you kind of want to have a lull there to kind of make it feel real, right? So that's sort of where I'm at right now, and I just have to accept it. All right, so with that said, thank you so much, and you have until next time, which is like 3 weeks. Keep in mind, stay safe and stay bright out there. Goodbye.